When you find out a child has cancer, it's brutal. It's not right, it shouldn't happen. It takes you really dark places. Places where you don't want your mind to go. Am my child going to live, they die? And it really is. They are fighting for their life when they've got a cancer diagnosis. There's no two ways about it.
I think it's the loss of control, the uncertainty, the not knowing what's going to happen, whether their child's going to survive, and how they're going to cope with the enormous change in their lives, both as parents of the child but also for the wider family and the siblings. So it's a huge turmoil for every family that receives such a devastating diagnosis.
Having LoveOliver in particular as just somewhere that we could go, we could talk about it if we wanted to, we didn't have to. It just was, they were just there. And I think it's just having them there, and it's become like a constant.
So LoveOliver is a small charity that funds research into childhood cancer and provides a range of practical support to families affected by it across Scotland in memory of our own first son, Oliver. Oliver was diagnosed with cancer at just a few days old, and although he did really well with his treatment, he passed away peacefully at home on Christmas Day 2010 when he was just 24 weeks old. And we knew we wanted to do something in response to what had happened. We didn't know what that something was at the time, but it's grown into something quite incredible through LoveOliver.
We're his parents and we want to be doing the best for him, and this is our way of doing the best for Oliver, but we kind of feel it's become so much more than just about Oliver.
We didn't really set out to set up a charity, but the support has been phenomenal. It's just grown over the years, particularly since COVID. Now we've got the shop and we've got the hub, and we're supporting all over Scotland. And yeah, it's gone from literally us with a laptop on our couch and
then getting out, turning the spare bedroom into an office. To then,
yeah. And having the toys in the shed. That was our own shed was our storage for the toy sales twice a year. And yeah, and it's quite incredible how it's grown.
They've been a lifeline for us, to be honest. So when Archie was first diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma cancer and we were on the ward, it's a really intense period. You're put into this world where like you don't know what's going on, all this information's given to you. You're just focused on trying to figure stuff out. Archie not only had to have chemotherapy up here in at Edinburgh Sick Kids, but we had to travel to Manchester and stay there for 6 weeks. So I stayed there with Archie for 6 weeks. He had to receive proton beam radiotherapy, specialist targeted therapy to where his tumour was in the bottom of his spine. And 6 weeks away from home and away from your family is huge. And LoveOliver were there. We received financial help with the travelling costs and also the expense of staying in Manchester, which is huge. And as a normal, family, it's hard to find that money. So we had financial help. They also provided us, and we got meal deliveries there as well. The charity, and Jennifer in particular, was sending me messages asking how we were. We've also connected with other families that they've put us in touch with. They could have that kind of peer support and support each other, or just, talk about things. So they really are like a charity like no other. They go above and beyond, and you don't need to explain anything, and they just want to help in the best way they can in the absolute devastating situation that you're faced with. Archie's doing good. So he went through his treatment for Ewing sarcoma cancer, 14 rounds of chemotherapy and 30 rounds of proton beam therapy. We've came out the other side of it, and we still receive support and help from LoveOliver.
I'm feeling a lot better now. Being able to get back to school, do my exams, get back to being active, playing some sports again, getting to the gym and being able to pass my driving test. So I'm doing pretty good now. And I'll still come down here and say hello to them just because they've always helped me, and I just thought I'd say thank you to them every time.
One of the main ways of support that we got as a couple, we had a church in Edinburgh that provided us with meals, and that made a big difference to us. We didn't have to worry about what we're going to make, what we're going to cook. So that was why the meals were quite an important thing to us. Actually, someone had done that to us, so we knew how helpful it was, that we wanted to provide that service for other families.
I just think it's amazing that we're able to provide meals for parents. They don't even have to leave the ward now to access those meals, and I just think that is probably the most practical way you can support a family going through this kind of experience.
It's huge. Some families haven't eaten, have forgotten to eat, just haven't thought about food or where they're going to get it. There's canteens in the hospital, they're open set hours, they don't want to leave. Having the access to a good quality, nutritious meal is such a big thing, because it's that nourishing the basic needs part. You know, we want parents to be in the best possible place to look after their children, and if they're hungry and tired, and they're not going to be able to do that, so it's such an important thing, and it is just one less thing they don't have to think about, like, what am I eating tonight, where am I going to get it, what time can I go, how much is it going to cost.
When Rose was just under 2.5, she was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. We came into contact with LoveOliver almost straight away, because one of the first things that they give every family is an in-ear thermometer, so that we're always having to check to see whether or not she's got a temperature. So that was actually our first thing, and we use that every single day. And then it was just coming into contact with Jennifer and the other people that are volunteering and working here, and we have been over to the hub many, many times since the point of diagnosis, throughout our treatment, and now even at the point of finishing treatment, we still come here. This is just like Rose's happy place. She absolutely loves and adores coming here. Rose, what is the best thing about LoveOliver?
Pasta.
The pasta. The main thing really is feeding Rose. She absolutely loves the pasta bolognese, and like everybody knows, like the nurses know, the doctors know, everybody here knows about how much she loves this pasta bolognese that they stock in the freezer. Even just a simple case of actually Rose having something to eat every day, if she particularly wanted it, you know, that's actually been the main thing. But also just me coming here as well with her, and just somewhere to be near the hospital but not in a hospital environment. You get the opportunity to see people at different stages of treatment, and you just get to hear different things about what people have experienced or advice. And I think now that we're at the other side of it, you know, the last time that we were here, we met a family that actually were quite near the beginning stages of treatment. So it's good to be able to, for us to be able to share what we've found has been supportive and helpful, and just how it went for us. When Rose goes to hospital, she doesn't think about her day in terms of the things that maybe aren't quite so nice and maybe are a bit sore and she's worried about. She thinks about her time when she's been at LoveOliver after. She doesn't think about how she was in hospital beforehand. She's done really, really good. We've been off treatment now, I don't know, maybe for about 6 weeks. Every day we're just seeing this livelier child who's singing, who's dancing, who's on her scooter, who's back at nursery. It's been so lovely.
We know ourselves, having other people who get it is just so important, and I think the hub is amazing for that, because it's giving these families a place where they can meet and they can connect, and it's lovely when there are a few families in at a time, because they just instantly connect and they can share their stories, they can give each other advice, because they're all at different stages of their cancer journey, and it's just a real support for them.
Children are they lose kind of most of their normal experiences, and they have very little choice in lots of things, but coming into LoveOliver, into the hub, you can give some of that back. You know, you can go and choose where you want to play. You don't have to be with your parent in the room at all times. Your siblings can come. We've had grannies, aunties, you know, extended family here. Recently there's been a couple of parties held here for children who've finished their treatment. Christmas, Halloween, summer picnic. And they're really lovely events for whole families. It's that giving a level of normality, going to a Christmas party, meeting Santa with your brothers and sisters, building a gingerbread house, or doing those sorts of things, but in a safer environment.
Having it so close to the hospital where you can just walk over in 5 minutes makes it an absolute ideal location, and it's a place that we can just go and just experience normality out with the hospital. Slightly unusual, strange environment that we found ourselves in, but this is a place that we can just be, and it's just been perfect.
For us young teens, a few of us would come in on a Wednesday night, first Wednesday every month, and we'd have a pizza night here. It's quite good to catch up with some of the other teens and know that you're not the only person going through it.
At point of diagnosis, all families are given a good quality digital thermometer. For children on chemotherapy, one of the biggest risks and quite serious risks is a fatal infection, and the only way they can identify that from a very early point is for a child's temperature to go up. So parents are trained to take temperatures religiously throughout treatment and beyond to make sure that their child's not getting unwell, because if they do have a temperature, they need to be at hospital within an hour. So having a good quality thermometer that they know works just takes that little bit off, that this is definitely right, we know what we're doing with it, and we're able to just monitor that everything's as it should be, and if it's not, they know what to do.
We're talking maybe 1,800 kids in the UK every year are going to be diagnosed with childhood cancers. About 250 kids every year will die from childhood cancer. It's about 5 kids a week. Of the children who have successful therapy, the vast majority of those will experience some kind of long-term side effects. So even though they survive, their quality of life is going to be affected for many years to come.
We've seen firsthand the side effects that the chemotherapy has, and it's not okay. We want gentler treatments, we want cures, but there's so little money that goes into childhood research, into the childhood cancers, especially the ones that Oliver had, because it was very rare.
So what we do is we do a lot of collecting tumours from people who donate their tumour tissue. We analyse those with genomics, and we use that to kind of make predictive models. We use AI and things like that to try to detect and predict who are the people who are going to need to receive that treatment and who don't necessarily need to receive that. We make models in the lab, so we model various types of usually high-risk childhood cancers, and we test drugs against them. We try to invent or discover new therapies that will particularly work well. We've been able to break them down into smaller subgroups, and each of those smaller subgroups then receives a different treatment, and that's what's going on at the moment. We're in clinical trials, we take part in investigations all the way across Europe, and many of the things that we've discovered now form part of those trials and therefore part of the treatment for those children. It's the continuity of the support, it's the flexibility, it's that focus on rare, difficult childhood cancers. That is something that is difficult to achieve in any other kind of, with other funders in any other context. So I think that's why LoveOliver is essential for us. It's that focus and it's that continuity.
I mean, the reality is that we wouldn't want to be doing any of this, because we'd rather Oliver was here with us and this didn't exist. But we kind of been laid down this path, and we're going on this journey, and to see other families knowing their situations, knowing what it feels like to be in this situation, to be able to offer them a wee bit of support, a wee bit of help, and see how much difference it makes them, see how appreciative they are of it, makes it worthwhile.
The volunteer team are amazing. I think how responsive they are makes them really special, how flexible they are, and just how passionate they are about making sure that children and families are getting the best support.
They're there in your corner, and we need to support them for sure. We can't not have a world where LoveOliver isn't there supporting the families and the kids and going through cancer treatment. We need them.
They've become friends, they know us as a family. They don't just know Rose. They know me, her dad, her sister Cora. They ask after her. Cora loves coming here as well, you know, and we'll come here sometimes even if we've not been at the hospital. You know, we'll make that journey because it's just, they've been so supportive and helpful to us.
We treat families over a large geographical area. So many families will come here from a long way from home, unable to work, unable to carry on their normal life, and it's the extra support that charities like LoveOliver can provide that make a huge difference. And it's great from my perspective to be able to offer that to families as a real positive contribution to their very difficult journey. We have very much in our mind that we want to do the best we can with the funding that you've provided for us, and that's taken so much to raise. So a big thank you, and very grateful and very proud and very humbled to be supported for this length of time. It's been great.
People can help LoveOliver in lots of different ways, through donating their time and their energy, getting involved in the shop. There's always things to do at the shop and at the hub, and obviously donating financially if they can. That's always great, and we use that money wisely to support families and to fund research. They can come up with new ideas for fundraising. That's always helpful. It's not always easy to come up with new ideas, organise their own event, own fundraiser. There's lots of ways, and if anyone does want to get involved, we'd love to hear from them.